Hi everyone, Mary Mitchell here. So this is the story of a canvas. This is you're watching me do a pour, which much to my amazement came out really, really cool. But the story about this is about the canvas. So let's talk about this canvas. I am very drawn to water, so I paint a lot in blues, and I have leftover paint, and I in blues, and I decided let's try this canvas because it has a history, and let's what better what better thing to put I'm sorry composition to put on it than my all-time favorite, some kind of seascape, sea wave, whatever. So anyway, I started out doing that, and but let's go back to the canvas. I keep digressing there. Okay, so this canvas I did two pours on, and I absolutely hated it. I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand looking at it. I tried to redo it over it. I didn't like that. I said, what am I going to do with this? I wanted to throw it out. I hated so much looking at it. So now I've had moments like that, and I have to rein myself in and just put it aside and figure out what I'm going to do with it. So I recalled seeing on Facebook and reading on Facebook that you could literally soak acrylic paint right off of a canvas. So with most of the size canvases that I do, that really would be not possible because even my bathtub wouldn't fit some of these canvas sizes. And my husband would have a fit. He put in a mud sink so that I would, keep my painting messes to my slop sink in my mudroom right outside my studio. So I took the advantage, and I took this canvas that I couldn't stand with all this acrylic paint on it, and decided I was going to soak it in water and see what happened. And that is what I did. So it took 2 days, and it was not easy. I'm going to tell you, this was not easy at all. Maybe it's easy on a panel. Maybe it's easy if you only have one coat. I don't know. I don't have any experience, but this was my experience, and I'll never do it again. My experience was that I put this canvas in water, and for 2 days I kept turning it over, and I kept scraping and scraping and what do you call it? Trying to pull off the acrylic in any way that I could, gently as I could. And I noticed by the second day, and it was not easy, it was scraping off, yes, but it just was very stubborn, and some of it I really had to put quite a little bit of work into. And by the second day, I noticed that I was worried that the wood around the canvas, the wood frame, I was worried it was going to warp, because that's what wood will do. And I think I got scared. So by the second day, I was able to get enough of it off anyway that I pulled it out. I got the rest of it off. I used a little sandpaper. I mean, anything you can imagine to get this off, I did. I let it dry. I sandpapered, took some sandpaper to what was left on it. And I was able to get it down to the original canvas. And the gesso, the pre-gesso that was on it, stayed on there. So, I feel it was a success, but it was warped. Not badly, because Michael's canvases can be warped anyway, so it wasn't a crisis. I could still use this. Well, it took a little while to dry out, and then I noticed that the sides of the painting and even the corners, what had happened is, as you know, when you put water on canvas, one of the strategies that we use to tighten the canvas is to spray water on the back of it. Well, imagine dumping it in a big vat of water and then letting it dry. The canvas was starting to pull away from the frame that was holding it. And I, I just let it run its course, and as you can see, I'm able to use it still. So what I did is I went around the sides of it, that parts that looked like it was lifting, and I glued it down with some super glue, and it wasn't terrible. It really wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't do it again. Okay, don't advise this method. If somebody has a different experience, I'd love to hear it. Maybe I did something wrong. It was a very straightforward concept to me. So anyway, I was able to glue down the canvas, the parts that had lifted. And like I said, it wasn't terrible, but it was concerning. And I did take gesso and I went all over the canvas again. And there were some bumps on it, and it might show once this is dry, but some paint, just little parts of paint that I couldn't quite get up. But they will disappear once this, if they show number one underneath this painting as it is now, and but they won't show once I throw some resin on here, which is what I fully intend to do based on the way it looks right now. And it's already drying, and I love the way it's drying. So my whole point here is, give something a try if you're not sure. I had no opinion on soaking off acrylic paint off a canvas until I did it. I don't recommend it. If you have gesso over it. If you can do it, that's great. There's no right or wrong thing. It's just that it made a mess. And for me, I don't think I'd ever do it again, but I certainly would say if you want to try it, give it a try. You might have a better experience than I did. So anyway, here I am. I'm almost done. This is fully poured out. I really like the way it came out. I just swiped and did very little with this painting. I blew a few parts down at the bottom. It was uneven, so I wedged a piece of cardboard under there. I need to elaborate something here. When I say that I had to wedge cardboard between underneath the canvas, that is because once the canvas dried and the wood was dry, the middle of the canvas was still weak and it was still saggy. Not bad, but saggy enough that the weight of the paint would have pooled. So I didn't dare spray it again because the canvas, although it was still saggy, ironically, it was still so tight and pulling off the wood that I had no choice but to not spray it and put something under it as best I could to support it. And that is that's a very important thing, distinction with this painting. And it actually caused the corner, the part where you see down at the corner where you see sort of like that big white wave, I guess, kind of splashing up. There was a little sag there, but it turned out well. It actually helped the composition of the painting, so go figure, Thanks, guys. Okay, so here it is. It's not dry yet. I will show that to you, but the sun happened to come in at just this perfect angle, and the painting, the colors just popped, and it's so hard to see on a video, but it looked so pretty because there's some metallic in here, and it was shiny, and it looked three-dimensional. Look right there. It just looks so three-dimensional. And there it is. It's full sunlight now that's coming through, and I just love the way it looked, and I'm just astounded that I was able to turn something that I had no expectations about. And then, there's the lesson right there. Isn't that just the way, right? You take something that's a test, or you take something that's an experiment, and you end up loving it. It's crazy, isn't it? But here it is, and I do. I really, really like it a lot. I can't wait to see it dry. I'll put it at the end of this video, and I can't wait even more to put some resin on this painting, and I'm just so happy with it. Just like I said, you know what? You just never know, and that's life. Have a great day, everybody, and have a great weekend, and talk to you soon. Can't wait to show you my next project that I'm working on. Taking some time, but I'm getting there. Bye-bye now. Okay, guys, here it is, almost all dry, and this is how it came out. So I'm a happy person. Bye-bye.